This was the strangest case that had ever been recorded in Ethers Hollow. The town had seen its share of unusual incidents over the years, but nothing like this. Because in this case, there were no signs of struggle, no evidence of forced entry, and no clear explanation. A family of 4 simply disappeared. The family, known as the Vale-Thoris household, had lived in Ethers Hollow for just under 3 years. They were quiet and kept to themselves. No reported conflicts with neighbors. To most people, nothing about them stood out. Until the morning of February 10th, 1996. That morning, a local milk distributor made his usual route through the neighborhood. When he arrived at the Vale-Thoris residence, he knocked. There was no response. He waited briefly, then left the milk at the doorstep and continued his route. At the time, nothing seemed unusual. A week later, he returned. The milk bottle was still there, untouched. That was when concern began to set in. He moved closer to the window and looked inside. The furniture was still in place. Nothing appeared disturbed. He walked around to the back of the house. Through the kitchen window, he noticed something strange. The tap was running. The police were contacted shortly after. The case was assigned to Detective Jackseth Vorn. When officers arrived, the house was locked from the inside. There were no signs of forced entry. They had to break in. The interior raised more questions than answers. There were no signs of struggle. No blood, no broken furniture, no indication that anything violent had taken place. Meals had been left unfinished. In the kitchen, aside from the running tap, there were multiple cups placed in the sink. All used, as if several people had been awake at the same time. Personal belongings were still there. Phones, wallets, clothing, everything, except the family. As investigators moved through the house, small details began to stand out. In the living room, a chair was positioned directly facing the window. In one of the bedrooms, the curtains had been pinned shut from the inside. It wasn't until a deeper search was conducted that something more concerning was found. Behind a wall-mounted frame in the study, investigators discovered wiring that did not match the house's original layout. Further inspection revealed something hidden inside the walls, small embedded cameras, positioned in multiple areas of the house, the living room, the hallway, even one facing the kitchen. None of them were visible without dismantling parts of the wall. There was no indication that the family had installed them, which meant one thing. Someone had been watching the Vale-Thoris family for an unknown period of time. Toward the end of the search, officers encountered a door at the far end of the hallway. It was locked from the inside. After failing to open it normally, they forced it open. Inside, the room was different. There was a table. On it were scattered papers, handwritten notes, dates, times, repeated entries. Most of them described the same thing. Someone is outside. We are being watched. They know when we sleep. There were also rough sketches of the house, with markings placed around windows and doors, as if someone had been tracking movement. In one corner of the room, investigators found a small storage compartment hidden beneath the floor. Inside it were more items: a camera lens, loose wiring, and a list of dates that did not match any known events. Near the wall, there was a single, large handprint. Unclear. Too large to confidently match any member of the household. Despite all of this, there was still no sign of forced entry, no broken locks, no open windows, and no indication of how 4 people could have left the house without leaving anything behind. The Vale-Thoris family was never found. No bodies were recovered. No suspect was identified, and no clear explanation was ever confirmed. To this day, what happened inside that house is still unknown.